Good morning. Here we are at the famous Mark Christensen's grafting some plants. Apple trees to be precise. Mr. Apple himself here. He's got various varieties going on, and I've come with my expertise and skill as a grafter of 44 years to aid in the process. So we're working on a root called 106 that was developed by the Malling Research Institute in England. The rootstock is basically a rootstock that influences the vigour of the plant, and in this case it's a semi-dwarf, so you'll get a tree that's about 3 metres tall, and they try and grow most of the fruit on the lower tier system, which can be a set of branch structures. Unlike the old way of growing trees where it was a big old vase-shaped tree and you had to do a lot of ladder work to do your pruning. The new system is a central leader tree. You've got one central leader with these lower tier branches and then lighter branching the rest of the way upward. Could have a look at that in the orchard later on. So yeah, this base rootstock has been grown on a system called a stool bed. So initially you'll take a rootstock like that, it might be 1 metre tall, and you'll layer it on the ground, and all those buds along there will develop into shoots. And you'll cover it with sawdust, so that this part here, where it attaches, has roots on it at the base. So the end result is, from that mother plant, you blow the sawdust away and you end up with this. So that will then regraft that mother, which stays in the ground, to produce a couple the next year and 3 or 4 the next year. So you end up with this perpetual bed of rootstock. So yeah, what we're going to do is try and select out a bit of wood which is fairly much the same size diameter as the rootstock that we're going to be grafting onto. So the method of joining that is called a whip and tongue graft. And this is one I specialised in. So we'll make a cross cut and we put a tongue about 2/3 of the way up the rootstock. Then I've got to go to the said bit of wood. In this case it's got a couple of little fruiting spurs there, and there we don't want those. We actually want the vegetative part of the plant. These are self-terminating last year's vegetative wood. It's best to go for this bud here, which will then grow out and grow into the tree. If we come a bit closer we can show you the cut on there. And take that bud off that's in the way, slot that again on that one. So we now have the 2 reciprocal pieces of wood. Because this is still slightly smaller in diameter, I'm going to match it to one side. The cambium line, which is probably barely visible where my knife tip is sitting, is where the nutrient flows. So by joining those lines up, we'll be able to get contact. So we've pretty much done that all the way down one side, and then we'll get a callus bridging out here for the rest of it. So then I hand this to my trusty assistant, Priya, who will wrap it. She'll tie that off like you'd tie your shoelace, and that's basically a strong glad wrap. That'll stay on there for about anything up to 6 weeks before it can be sliced off with a knife down there, and that will have healed. By then this plant will be starting to grow out here, so you'll be getting quite a nice growth. A little bit of sealant on top just to stop it drying out while it's connecting to the mother plant. There we have it, one grafted apple tree.